In Errand of Mercy, we meet for the first time the arch enemies of the Federation, the Klingons. Both the Klingons and the script are the creations of writer-producer Gene Kuhn. And Kuhn went to extremes. The Klingons are evil incarnate, unclean, selfish, hostile, and narrow-minded, and, oh yes, they're also ugly. The Enterprise is sent to the planet Organia, a world apparently inhabited by simple people whose civilization hasn't evolved beyond the agricultural stage. The mission is to prevent the Klingons from getting a toehold on the planet, assuming the Klingons have toes. What the Organians are about to discover is that they are strategically located between two warring intergalactic superpowers, the Federation and the Klingon Empire. And what the crew of the Enterprise discovers is something you're about to find out.
When my father agreed to let me study theater and to go into acting as a career, he said he wanted me to maintain certain standards. So I didn't work much. I turned down a lot of opportunities. There were those opportunities, few opportunities where the role was satisfying, and I feel very lucky in that sense. But the majority of the roles were pretty stereotyped. And here came Gene Roddenberry with this project. I sat down with him, he started to explain to me the project, and I heard that this was a really visionary project. He saw the Starship Enterprise as a metaphor for Starship Earth.
Now the phaser crews stand by their positions. Full power deflector screens.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Spock and I are going down to the planet's surface. You will be in command. Your responsibility is to the Enterprise, not to us. Is that clear?
Perfectly, sir. And he saw that the pluralism of this Starship Earth was where our strength was, to tap the best of this person with this background, this person with that experience, this person with that vantage point, and to bring them together and work as a team. Then we can face any kind of challenge and prevail.
Kirk here.
Captain, a large number of Klingon vessels have just arrived.
They're opening fire.
Positive identification.
Yes, sir. My screens are up. I can't drop them to beam you aboard.
Mr. Sulu, follow your orders. Get out of here. Contact the fleet. Return if the odds are more equal. Kirk out.
John Newland, no stranger to the horror genre, directed this suspenseful episode. You may recognize him as the host and the creator of the macabre series One Step Beyond. And actor John Colicos, a fellow actor from Montreal, who plays the Klingon Captain Kor, does an incredible job of playing the antithesis of Captain Kirk. Among many other roles, Colicos went on to play another villain, Baltar, leader of the Cylons in the 70s TV series Battlestar Galactica. We'll be back.
Well, the agent called and he said he's got an interview for me. I thought, fantastic. He said it's a science fiction project. I thought, mm-hmm. And then he said it's being produced by a man named Gene Roddenberry. I thought, who is he? Number 3, he said it's a pilot for a potential series. And that's when my ears perked up, because it meant, if it sells, steady employment.
It's changing course, sir.
And so I went to the interview a little nervous, more than a little nervous. And I said, I'm here to see Mr. Roddenberry. I didn't hear his name right, and when I scribbled the name down on the pad, I didn't write it properly, so I thought it said Roddenberry. She said, I'm sorry, it's pronounced Roddenberry. And that really intensified my nervousness, because already I'm blowing the producer's name. And I walked in, and Gene came up to me from behind his desk and said, George Takei. And so that sort of set me at ease, because my name is pronounced Takei, although Takei is a legitimate Japanese word. And I explained to Gene Roddenberry that it's pronounced Takei, but you're welcome to call me Takei, because the word Takei translates into English as expensive.
Captain, take cover. There's a samurai after me.
What?
I mean, there was
Gene's eyes bugged up. He doesn't like to call actors expensive. He said, "Oh my goodness, no. Well, you're most definitely Takei. Rhymes with okay, doesn't it? Okay, you're Takei." And that was my meeting with Gene Roddenberry. I'm very proud of my association with Star Trek and grateful for it, because there's got to have been something with Star Trek that's given us this longevity, and to find generations of people that relate to it, that connect to it, find something of value to it.
Oh, there you are, gentlemen. I trust you are in good health. Shall we go?
Go?
Yes, your captors plan to do violence to you. That we cannot permit. I came to take you away.
You turned us over to them. You expect us to trust you now?
What Star Trek says is, yes, it's going to be tough. It's going to have obstacles, and it's going to be challenging. But if we have confidence in our problem-solving capabilities, in our creativity, in our inventive genius, then we can face that future and deal with it.
Well, there it is. War. We didn't want it, but we've got it.
Curious how often you humans manage to obtain that which you do not want.
I'm an optimist. You know, without optimism, no progress will be made, no achievements will be made. Pessimism, cynicism is very defeatist, and it's my personal philosophy, but it also jives with Gene Roddenberry's. You've got to be affirmative and positive in order to make progress and achieve.
We can be of immense help to you. In addition to military aid, we can send you specialists, technicians. We can show you how to feed 1,000 people where one was fed before. We can help you remake your world. End disease, hunger, hardship.
And also this longevity has another element to it. Over the past 30-plus years, some of us have gained weight, others have changed in other ways, but so have the audience. And there's something comforting about that continuity, to know that someone I watched when I was a teenager is still there, and yes, he or she looks different, but so do I, and there's something good about that. There's something comforting about that.
No animals, no people, no worries. Just what the doctor ordered. Right, doctor?
I couldn't have prescribed better.
The Klingons, who were introduced in this episode, went on to wreak havoc in 6 other episodes of the original series. Then, they were made over, head bumps and all, in the first feature film, and evolved into a complex warrior culture with a long, proud history. In Star Trek: The Next Generation and the series that followed, and despite a peace initiative drawn up between the Klingon empires and the Federation, Klingons are still the species we love to hate.
At the height of the Cold War, fear of the spread of communism rippled throughout the world. As countries like Cuba, North Korea, and North Vietnam fell under communist rule, our fears of the world falling under the Iron Curtain seemed to be coming true. As the grand protector of democracy, the United States tried to ward off the evil empire, as Ronald Reagan called it. How? By attempting to liberate these countries on the brink. The toll was enormous, and in cases like Korea and Vietnam, it embroiled us in conflicts that cost hundreds of thousands of lives. Star Trek made the same point in Errand of Mercy. Star Trek owes a lot to Gene Kuhn for giving us the Klingons, and a lot to the actor John Colicos and director John Newland for establishing a believable identity for the race. Klingons have been enormously valuable to the Star Trek franchise, and it's clear that our audience has always taken to them. I guess there's something interesting about a people who are just plain bad. The Klingons would evolve over the years in both look and character, but the original Klingons were pure bad guys. with simple makeup. In fact, I think John Calico's makeup took less than 35 minutes, where contemporary Klingons must endure several hours in the makeup chair. In some cases, there's something to be said for simplicity. Mankind's warlike nature is on full display in Errand of Mercy. In the end, the Organians force us, through Kirk, Spock, and Kor, to rise above our nature and see the folly and futility of our ways. The message is that only when we abolish violence and war can we truly reach new heights of existence like the Organians. Or, more simply, as the Bible says, the meek shall inherit the earth.